Today I'm going to be attempting to clean a rifle suppressor with some breakthrough suppressor cleaner. Now I've looked around, did some research on what products are out there on the market. This one seems to have the best reviews. There's another product by Ballistol, I believe, that has some okay reviews, but by far this one has the best in terms of actually getting all the gunk out. Now, this is an old YHM. It is a Phantom LT, so pretty old can. I've had this over 10 years, and it's got thousands of rounds of ammo through different rifles that I put through it, and I've never cleaned it in any way. I've never done ultrasonic cleaning or any kind of solvents or anything like that. So this is going to be a pretty good test for this product. What I did, and I did this based on some recommendations also that I saw out there, is I went on Amazon and I got some of these corks, and I've taken one here and just jammed it as tight as I can get it into the muzzle hole, or the muzzle end hole. And so all I'm going to do, I've got a sacrificial little cup here that I'm going to put the silencer in just to hold it up and catch anything that might make its way past that cork. But I'm just going to fill this all the way up, and I'm going to leave it sit for at least 24 hours. And what the directions say to do is basically to let it soak, just dump it out, and then fire a few rounds through it to blow out all the junk that it's broken loose. So I'm going to fill it up, leave it for 24 hours, and come back and see how it did. The cleaner has been sitting in the silencer now for a little over 24 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and pour it out and see what it looks like. It's blue, which I didn't necessarily expect. I'm not seeing any big chunks or anything come out. But I'm trying to take a look inside. I don't know. Still seems like a fair amount of junk in there. Might have to do another round of soaking. So the deposits do seem to be fairly soft inside. You can kind of put my finger in there and scrape it off, but I think what I'll try is I'm going to just pour this same stuff back in there. Let it soak another 24 hours, and then I'll pour it out and fire a few shots through it and see if that clears it up. I poured that same cleaner just right back in it, and it is now soaked for another 24 hours. So I'm going to go ahead and pour it out, and then I'm going to set it upside down and let it kind of drip dry, and then I will go ahead and fire a couple rounds of supersonic rifle ammunition through it, which is what they recommend, and then see if any more junk comes loose that we can shake out of there. Looks about the same as before. I mean, it's blue. It's maybe darker blue. It's just not as dirty looking as I would really have expected. Get this cork out. And just looking in at the baffles, it doesn't really look a whole lot different than it did after 24 hours. But like I said, go ahead and let it drip dry. and then I'll put a couple rounds through it. Okay, got the silencer back off the rifle. We're going to take a look inside. Try to get it to focus here. Okay, alright, we got the silencer off the rifle. We're going to try to focus it here inside. I mean, yeah, looks like some of it came off. I think based on these results, I'm going to go ahead and fill it back up with some fresh fluid and let it set another 24 hours. Now, keep in mind, like I said, this silencer has been used on a bunch of different calibers and had just, I don't know, thousands of rounds put through it for over 10 years and never been cleaned in any way. So I'm going to give it a little grace. We're going to responsibly recycle this old solvent onto the gravel driveway, and then we're going to pour it full of some new solvent and let it sit another 24 hours, and we'll come back and check on it then. So I soaked it another 24 hours with some new cleaner. So we'll go ahead and pour that out and see what it looks like. Sort of appears, I'm starting to see some metal surfaces where it was covered before. Still not squeaky clean by any means. I'm going to go ahead and let this drip dry again, and then take it out and fire a few more rounds through it. Okay, put 6 more rounds through it. It seems like we're making some progress, so I guess what I'll do is just go ahead and plug it back up, fill it back up with new solvent again, and give it another 24 hours. Okay, so I let it soak for another 2.5 days, so I've got an additional 60 hours of soak time on this one. I went ahead, I figured while I'm cleaning silencers, I'll go ahead and do these two. This is a pistol can, and then this is another rifle can. And they've also, I filled them at the same time, they've also soaked for 60 hours, so I'll see what the results look like on those. Neither of these two have the round count that this one does. But I'm going to dump them all out now, let them drip dry, and then I'm going to shoot through all of them. I'm probably going to do, I think I'll do a full magazine through both the rifle cans, and then I'm not sure, some supersonic 9mm through the pistol can, and just shoot it out as best as I can. It actually does disassemble, but I just wanted to see if just soaking it would get it done. So I'm going to go ahead and dump them out. Actually looked like a fair amount of kind of dirty junk coming out of that one. A little bit different than the other one. When I first poured it out, it didn't really seem like any junk came out with it, but this one did look like some black carbon came out with it. Now this is the pistol can. Now this has had a lot of 22 through it, so a lot different looking coming out. I assume that brown is from the lead fouling in it. All right, now the original can. Really dark blue, maybe the darkest blue I've seen so far. All right, let them drip dry, and we'll see what they look like. All right, I let the 3 silencers drip dry for a couple hours, and we're going to put 17 rounds through the pistol can of 124 grain 9mm, and then we're going to put 30 or 29 or whatever's in the magazine. A magazine full of 5.56 55 grain through both the rifle cans. I decided to use this 10.5-inch short barreled gun because it's got a brake. This brake puts a lot of blast into that blast baffle on the silencer, and this is going to have the most flash and unburnt powder. I just figured that'd be best for kind of breaking up whatever's left in there. So you go ahead and load this all up, shoot these rounds, and then we'll take a final look at what the inside of the silencers looks like, and I'm going to call it a day. So. I don't have the booster installed on this can, so I may end up having to hand cycle these, but I didn't. This is the way it was set up when I cleaned it, so I'm just going to leave it. The pistol can is still pretty wet after one magazine, so I'm going to do another magazine. All right, final eval time. So this is the original can, the one I started out to clean, and you can see in there it's better. There's a lot of that stuff that was in the blast baffle stuck to the wall that I think has come off, and it does look better overall, but still plenty of junk in there that it just isn't able to get out. This can, I didn't show you this one before we started, so this isn't really going to be that helpful, but it's a long way down to that first baffle stack in this particular can, so it's kind of hard to get it to, there we go,
get the light in there and get it on video at the same time. But this one didn't start out nearly as bad. And it, like I said, when I dumped the solvent out the first time from that one, it seemed like a lot more black junk ran out of that one than this one. So maybe just not as baked on in this one as this one, so that's why it cleaned up a little better, but did an okay job. Now the pistol can, I went ahead and put a second magazine through it just because it was still like all wet with solvent after the first one. But I went ahead and pulled it apart, and you can see all the parts are still pretty gunked up. These baffle stacks, I can't get them all apart because they're kind of gunked together, so I think I may end up just putting these baffles in a plastic cup and dumping the rest of that cleaner on them to see if that'll clean them up a little bit. But my curiosity got to me, so I did go ahead and soak these in some solution just in a cup, and only did it for a couple hours, pulled them out, used this brush on them, and they cleaned up pretty good. So I think really this is where this product shines, is on like a rimfire suppressor or a pistol can, something that doesn't have that really hard baked on carbon. Anyway, those were my results. After kind of looking around, I think for the most part, some of the other reviews that I saw and that I read, it looks like people are mostly using them to clean these, cans that you can disassemble, pistol cans or 22 cans or whatever, and it may do a decent job on that. But if you're looking for, a miracle worker for stuck on hard carbon in a rifle can, you're going to have to be prepared to be patient and use the whole solution, just letting it soak over and over again and let it take its time. I think these cleaners like this, just the chemicals just aren't very aggressive. It's mostly a surfactant based cleaner, and so they're environmentally safe or whatever, but they just don't work the way that some of the more harsh cleaners work. I'm sure a ultrasonic would help, but I don't have one of those. So anyway, those are my results. Do with those what you will, and I appreciate you watching.